Coming up on Vegas Nation Blitz, another tough loss, this time at home.
It sucks. I never want to lose in general, especially in that fashion. I still don't even understand how we lost, but it's tough,
We'll break down what went wrong for the Raiders in week 2 right now on Vegas Nation Blitz.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Welcome back, everyone, to Vegas Nation Blitz. I'm your host, Cassie Soto. 0-2 for the first time since 2018. The Raiders had every opportunity to beat the Cardinals on Sunday, but allowed Arizona to come back to life in the second half and ultimately beat the Raiders in overtime 29-23. The Silver and Black's home opener did not go as planned. Let's go ahead and jump into our top stories brought to you by Capriotti's. Make your game day extraordinary with Capriotti's. Order now. Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignor with me now. Vinny, I know it's been a few days, but I'm sure there are still some people out there scratching their head asking what the heck happened from the first half to the second half. Do we have answers yet?
Well, number one, you can't let up. And I don't think the let up was a mentality from, calling plays or wrong plays or anything. They just lost their edge in terms of their execution, and you just can't do that. You have to keep fighting in a 60-minute football game, and I think they learned the ultimate lesson, especially against somebody like a Kyler Murray. You can't leave the door open, even the slightest, against a player like that, because a guy like Kyler Murray, eventually a light's going to go on, and he's going to become what he is, which was the best player on the football field on Sunday when it counted. And so that's a lesson that the Raiders need to learn. Again, I don't think it was play calling. I don't think it was running the ball enough or not running the ball enough or throwing it too much. I just think when it got right down to it, they didn't execute the Raiders the way they should be, and as a result, they lost a football game that they should have won.
Yeah, well, on that note, let's go ahead and hear from Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels following the loss.
We have to learn how to play aggressively with a lead. That's a mentality. It's like a boxing match. You're ahead on points after 6 rounds. You can't stop throwing punches. You know what I mean? You got to keep fighting. You know what I mean? And sometimes, when you get your team, into that mindset, that they can maintain their aggression and not put themselves at risk, which that's totally doable.
Well, there was a big boxing match here in town over the weekend, so maybe that's why he had boxing on the mind, Vinny. But he says, you're up in the points after 6 rounds. You cannot stop punching. You talk about the lessons the Raiders learn after watching this tape. What is that big lesson that they have to take from this loss?
You have to play your best football when your best football mandates that. When it gets right down to it. And I felt like the Raiders played great football in the first half. That's how they built a 20-0 lead. They played pretty decent football to get a 23-7 lead. But over the last 8 minutes, it was the Cardinals who dictated terms. And why did that happen? Because the Raiders didn't fight as hard as they needed to fight from an execution standpoint. Who thinks that Hunter Renfrow is going to fumble the ball right there? Driving into field goal range to win a game. If he hangs onto the ball, Daniel Carlson kicks a field goal to win a game. It's one of those wins that you accept, but deep down it could have been a lot better, and that would have been a great teaching lesson for Josh McDaniels. Instead, he's got to talk to the team about lessons learned in a loss, and that's what he referred to, I think it was on Monday or after the game on Sunday, which was you got to start winning some of these games and learning the lessons at the same time. You can't be learning lessons and losing, because then that becomes demoralizing really quick, and it puts them in a position where they are in this week, which is they've got to win this game against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and that's a good follow-up here. How do the Raiders not let 0-2, the possibility of 0-3, become a mentality?
Well, if I'm coaching this team, I'm looking at the fact that, look, guys, you've played 4 good quarters of football. The problem is there were 8 total quarters that they had to play. So 4 good quarters of football, they're on the winning side of things. The other 4 bad quarters of football cost them 2 wins. Just put together 4 straight quarters of good football. They've obviously shown they can do that. They outplayed the Chargers in the second half in the season opener. They outplayed the Cardinals in game 2 in the first half. Now they got to put together a first and second half, and if they do that, they could go win a game, and that's what needs to be the focus. I know everyone's talking about the playoffs and the postseason, all that's great, But you don't get there until you take care of business, and it starts this week against the Tennessee Titans. Win a game, then go figure out a way to win another game, and then another game after that. And at the end of the season, you look back and figure out, did you have enough wins to get to the playoffs? But right now, it's just a one-game deal.
Around the League, sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com. It's time to take a look around the league. It's Heidi Fang here with Adam Hill, and the Chiefs right now are standing on top of the AFC West Division at 2-0. I don't think this was an expected start for them, but also I don't think the people expected their opponent this week in Week 3 to be falling apart as much as they are in the Indianapolis Colts. Adam, what do you make about this one?
Yeah, Colts, one of the most disappointing teams in the league for sure, starting 0-1-1 against two bottom dwellers in their division. So they have a chance to get right at home, but it's not going to be easy. The Chiefs have been playing very, very good football. Tyreek Hill has been very good in Miami, but they've been able to fill in. They've been spreading the ball around to a lot of different receivers, targeting just about everyone on the field. It's going to be a different guy every week for the Chiefs. So the offense is different than it's been in the past, but it's still very, very good, and they're still Mahomes and Kelsey, and that's really all that matters.
The Chargers right now have their star quarterback, Justin Herbert, dealing with a rib cartilage injury. How might that affect him as they prepare to face the Jacksonville Jaguars?
It's crazy because you watch two back-to-back plays from the game this past week on Thursday night after he got hurt against the Chiefs. One play, he looked like he didn't even belong on a football field. He looked like he couldn't move. He just dropped the ball instead of picking up a very easy 2 yards for a first down because he had such pain. And then the next play, he throws one of the best passes we've seen all season by anyone, zipping the ball down the field to DeAndre Carter, about a 50-yard just frozen rope dime. So who knows how this is going to play out. He insists he's going to come back and be ready to play. I don't know what the doctors are going to say about that, but obviously a massive, massive potential injury that could impact this division race in the AFC West. Chargers are at home against an improving Jaguars team this week, but they'll need Justin Herbert to play and play well if they're going to do what they want to do this year.
There you have it for this week's Around the League.
Sam Gordon here on behalf of Vegas Nation, checking in with the Week 3 injury brief as the Raiders prep to play the Tennessee Titans in a matchup of 0-2 teams, crucial matchup. And as of right now, the Raiders are in rough shape for that matchup. Several players had an injury designation on Wednesday when the injury report came out. That includes Hunter Renfrow with a concussion, did not practice. Denzel Perryman, ankle, did not practice. Bilal Nichols, shoulder, did not practice. Trayvon Merrick, hip, did not participate. Running back Brandon Bolden, tackle Jermaine Illuminor, and defensive tackle Neil Farrell Jr. also limited with their respective injuries. And of course, defensive end Chandler Jones getting a vet day. We will continue to monitor the injury status of the Raiders players throughout the course of the week. Be sure to go to vegasnation.com, reviewjournal.com for all updates for everything Raiders related.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler, the perfect bridge between internet pricing and a traditional brick-and-mortar jewelry store. We specialize in loose diamonds, natural and lab-grown, engagement rings, fashion jewelry, custom design, and jewelry repairs. We operate by appointment in our beautiful offices in the One Summerlin building, downtown Summerlin. Our great relationships with the world's largest diamond wholesalers and our low overhead saves you hundreds, if not thousands, on your purchase.
With Capriotti's, game day is always extraordinary. Fuel your passion with our award-winning cheesesteaks, in-house oven-roasted turkey, and classic subs. Or create a fan frenzy with our catering trays that are perfect for any crew. At Capriotti's, we deliver extraordinary to you.
Now it's time for a look at Raiders social media. Wide receiver Devontae Adams received a very special call last week as his number 15 jersey was retired by Fresno State.
It's important for us to recognize all those contributions and what you do as a leader for us. So if it's okay with you, we would love to honor you by retiring your number and honoring you in our circle of honor here at Fresno State.
Wow. I wasn't quite expecting that.
You wasn't ready for that one, huh?
I wasn't ready for that. Wow. Yeah. Well, absolutely, man. That's an honor. That's more of an honor for me than anybody, man. That's amazing. I appreciate that, and absolutely, you have my permission to do so.
Now let's listen in on the moment Raider Nation found out the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA championship on Sunday.
With victorious over the Connecticut Sun, winning the WNBA championship 3 games to 1.
Allegiant Stadium and the Raiderettes showed love before Tuesday's championship parade, and of course, Raiders and Aces owner Mark Davis was a part of the celebration.
Cassie Soto back with you, and I am joined by Las Vegas Review-Journal sports columnist Ed Graney. Ed, last week the talk was that Davante Adams had too many targets. This most recent game, only 7 targets with 2 receptions. When do you think this offense will find its balance?
Well, they better find it soon, right, Cassie? They're 0-2. So, last week, it's going to be a week-to-week thing on how people defend Davante Adams. Are they going to bracket him? Are they going to double cover him? I mean, he's going to get most of the attention. This week will be interesting, not because of Davante only, but because of Hunter Renfrow. What's his status? What's his health? So, if he's healthy and going, which I don't know if that's possible after, being checked for concussion last week, again, you're going to have 3 targets in Waller, Renfrow. They're mixing in Matt Collins now, Davante. So you can't really say Davante's going to get so many targets a week, but I think they have to look to him more than they did last week. Perhaps not as much as the first week when they played the Chargers, but they've got to get him the ball more against Tennessee, and they should be able to with those Tennessee cornerbacks.
Well, the Raiders paid a lot of money for a guy named Chandler Jones. We all thought he was going to have a big game against his former team in the Arizona Cardinals, but he only had recorded 2 quarterback hits. What do you think is going on with Jones?
This is a really interesting question. I'm not so sure what's going on with him, but he hasn't showed up for 2 weeks now. A lot of people say Arizona was okay with him moving on from him. He's 30. He's going to be north side of 30, for a rusher that's not, a young guy. I don't want to say that's it after 2 games. We can't pass that much judgment. Last week, they did rush differently because it was Kyler Murray. So you're worried about his feet and things he could do. And, when plays break down, so you kind of got to stay back more than be very aggressive against him. But no question, you hit it on the head. Chandler Jones has to show up. Max Crosby's been great at applying pressure, has only gotten 1 sack so far. The team's only gotten 1 sack. They got Chandler Jones in here to get sacks from the quarterback and to put pressure on him. And to this point, he hasn't done that. Chandler Jones needs to step up starting this week because you can't just count on Crosby from his side of the line to do all the work.
Well, up next are the Tennessee Titans, another 0-2 team that's coming off of a bad loss, and they're coming off of a short week. Do you think the Raiders get their first win on the road?
They better. Let me tell you a stat I used in the paper. Any team that starts 0-3 since 1980, only 3.2% make the playoffs. You don't want to start 0-3 in this league. If you watch Tennessee on Monday night versus the Bills, I'll tell you what, man, they did not look like a good team. They are ripe for the picking. They lost at home the first week to the Giants. This Raider team has to go in there, make a statement, balance the offense, play good enough defense, and get a win. You do not want to start 0-3 in this league. History tells you that you will not make the playoffs if that happens. I think only 8 of 160 some odd teams have made the playoffs since 1980 that started 0-3. Both 0-2 teams. Both teams will be desperate this week. But I'm telling you, if you're the Raiders, you need to go in and win this game.
That will do it for this week's episode of Vegas Nation Blitz. For all of your Raiders news, head on over to vegasnation.com and be sure to tune in Saturday at 7 a.m. for Vegas Nation Game Day as we preview the Raiders' Week 3 matchup versus the Tennessee Titans. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. We'll see you soon.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.